The demand for a new smartphone can be modeled by P of x equals 575 minus 45 natural log of x, where P of x is the price consumers will pay in dollars and x is the number of phones sold in thousands. Recall that total revenue is given by R of x equals x times that price consumers are willing to pay function. So first thing we're going to do is write that total revenue function. So R of x is x times P of x, right? So where's that price function? Right here, okay? So I'll say x times 575 minus 45 natural log of x. All right. I guess, I'm going to distribute it in. I'll just distribute this x in, okay? And have 575x minus 45x times natural log of x. I'll write that natural log of x in a different color. Okay. So that's the total revenue function R of x. We're going to take the derivative of this function to find the marginal revenue function. Okay, so that's part B. But look, it says marginal revenue is the increase in revenue that results from the sale of one additional unit of output. So we're talking about what phones is it? Yes. So if we sell 1,000 more phones, okay, because X is the number of phones sold in thousands, right? So if we sell 1,000 more phones, the revenue will increase or decrease by that number. Okay, so let's take the derivative of this R of x. So we found the R of x. So we have two terms, right? What is the derivative of 575x? So we do one thing at a time, right? That will be 575. Now, the second part though, we're looking at 45x times natural log of x. You see, we have to do a product rule, right? So I'll write down the product rule here. That's the product of 45x times natural log of x. So here comes product rule. You have to do first times the derivative of the second plus second times the derivative of the first. Okay, first being that 45x. So I'm gonna be doing 45x times what? G prime. Now G is natural log of x. What is the derivative of natural log of x? 1 over x. Write that down. Plus, write down G. G is natural log of x. And I'm multiplying this by the derivative of 45x, which will be 45. All right, so inside that black parenthesis, I have the product rule, but I will be simplifying this, okay? So let me bring these parts down the same for right now. Okay, we're subtracting whatever this is inside. So let's see. What about 45x times 1 over x? Ooh, notice this x will cancel out because that's the multiplication of x and that's the division of x. So we only have 45 left. So I'll write down 45. All right, plus sign. And it says natural log of x times 45. So there's really nothing I can do about that. I'll write down the 45 first. And then I'll write down that natural log of x after it. And I think we can factor out that 45. We can. We found the derivative now, but this line is just me trying to simplify this, work a little bit more. So I'll be doing 575 minus, I'll factor out that 45, okay? 45 times What's left inside the parenthesis? 1 plus natural log of x. There are so many different ways to simplify this answer, but I'll leave it like, you know what? I think we can simplify more. I take it back. I'm actually gonna distribute this minus and then combine the constants. Okay, all right, let's see. Sorry, I didn't think through this. All right, how about I distribute this negative sign? Okay, you see what I'm trying to do, right? If I do that, I will get 575 minus 45, right? Minus 45 natural log of x. But if I do it this way, I can combine these two, right? These are just numbers. So, and say that my final answer is 530. Is that right? Yep. Minus 45 natural log of x. So this is the marginal revenue function. So let's see if we are applying this in part C. C is asking how many units will be sold if the price that consumers are willing to pay is $550. Sorry, I had to think about it for a second because you would expect, ooh, we just found the marginal revenue function. We're going to use it, right? That's what I thought was going to happen. But it sounds like, you see how C right there, they're not even talking about marginal revenue. They're talking about the price of $550. So they're saying P is equal to 550. And they're asking for how many units will be sold, which is X, right? They're asking what's X. So I had to stop for a second because I don't think we're using that at all. So where is the equation that relates X and P? They gave that to us in the very top over here. So in fact, I think we're going back, kind of awkward, and using this P of X function right there, because what they are saying is that this price is equal to 550. Okay, they're saying this price is 550 and asking us what's got to be the X value. So all that calculate, okay, well, that's fine. We'll just solve that pink equation. Okay, so take a look. I'm going to set it up as 550 equals, they're willing to pay that, 575 minus 45 natural log of x. I'm not complaining. It's just a good review of, I guess, solving equation. But I kind of wanted to use that marginal revenue function that we found. But all right, let's solve this by first subtracting 575 from both sides. Oh no, I'm going to get a negative answer. A negative number here. If I subtract 575 from both sides, I'm going to get negative 25, right? Negative 25. And that equals negative 45 natural log of x. Oh, that's all right, because now we are about to divide both sides by negative 45. Negative divided by negative will give us positive. And if I try to simplify or reduce this fraction a little bit, I will get 5 over 9, right? 5 over 9. And that equals natural log of x. Okay? So let's solve this by rewriting it in exponential form. So if it says natural log of x is equal to 5 over 9, then we can convert this into an exponential form and say e raised to the 5 over 9th power is equal to x. So this last step right there was just us rewriting a logarithmic equation into an exponential equation. Okay, so now all we gotta do is type this into the calculator and figure out what x is. Calculator, where are you? So what is e raised to the 5/9 power is? And I remember, guys, remember how x's are number of phones, right? But we're not talking about 1.74 phones, right? We're actually talking about thousands of phones. I believe that's what they say. See, x is the number of phones sold in thousands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 1,000 to this and say that we're talking about 1,740. I'll round that up to 43 phones. That's almost a whole phone there, right? So here's my final answer. I'll say x was, what was it before I multiply? 1.7429, right? But if I multiply by 1,000, because we're talking about, 1, 2, 3, we're talking about thousands of phones, we can say our final answer is 1,743 phones. Just because the unit of these phones were in thousands in this problem. So, yep, that's it. I think the next page we will be using the marginal revenue function. But C was kind of random. We ended up just solving an equation instead of using the marginal revenue function. But this was the first example of an application problem in section 2.3 on page 92.